She had always believed that trust was a dangerous thing, something to be given sparingly and only after it had been tested. Life had taught her this through bitter trials and losses that carved invisible scars into her heart. Yet when she met him, a man who carried his own shadows, something inside her told her to take that risk again. She didn't know why, but she felt it, an unshakable sense that he would never let her fall. She trusted him with her life before she even realized what she was doing, and in return, he found something he never thought he deserved, a home in her heart. Her name was Eliza, a woman strong-willed and fiercely protective of her small family. After her parents' death, she carried the burden of caring for her younger brother and the land they left behind. The farm was her world, and every ounce of strength went into keeping it alive. But strength had its limits, and danger often found its way into quiet lives. It was during one of those dangerous moments that he appeared. His name was Daniel, a wanderer, a man with no roots, carrying the weight of battles long fought and dreams long buried. He had not been searching for a place to belong, only for a way to survive another day. Their worlds collided one evening when Eliza's farm came under threat. Bandits prowled the countryside, taking what they wanted, leaving families broken in their wake. She stood her ground as they came, her trembling hands clutching an old rifle she barely knew how to fire. The odds were stacked against her until Daniel stepped in. He fought with the determination of a man who had faced death before and no longer feared it. The bandits retreated, but not without leaving behind the echo of fear in Eliza's heart. For her, Daniel was more than a rescuer, he was a shield she didn't know she needed. Eliza invited him to stay the night, offering little more than food and shelter in gratitude. Daniel, accustomed to being on the move, considered refusing. But the look in her eyes, tired yet kind, weary yet hopeful, made him stay. What began as a single night stretched into days, then weeks. At first, their interactions were cautious. Eliza, though grateful, was careful to keep her distance, not ready to let anyone close. Daniel, used to keeping secrets, rarely spoke of his past. But actions spoke louder than words. He worked alongside her, repaired what was broken, and treated her brother as though he were his own. Slowly, barriers began to crumble. Trust is not built overnight, but in the small, quiet moments that reveal the truth of a person. Eliza watched the way Daniel cared for the horses, the gentleness in his rough hands when he helped her brother, and the way he rose at dawn to work without being asked. She sought his patience, his quiet strength, and his unwillingness to walk away even when the burdens grew heavy. She had given him her trust in a desperate moment, but now she saw she had been right to do so. He became part of their world, almost without realizing it. Yet Daniel carried wounds invisible to the eye. His past was filled with battles and betrayals, with promises broken and people lost. He had convinced himself that he didn't deserve peace, that his life was meant to be lived on the road, unanchored and unloved. But Eliza's presence unsettled that belief. She treated him not as a stranger passing through but as someone worth keeping. And though he fought against it, his heart began to soften. The greatest test of their bond came when the bandits returned, more determined than ever to take the farm. This time, they came with fire and fury. Eliza stood ready, but fear coursed through her veins. Daniel looked at her then, his eyes steady, his voice calm, and said, "Trust me." It was more than a request, it was a vow. She nodded, her fear melting into faith. Together, they defended what mattered most. The battle was fierce, the odds uneven, but Daniel fought not just for survival. He fought for her, for the home he had never expected to find. When the dust settled, the farm still stood, and so did they. That night, as the smoke cleared and the stars emerged, Eliza realized the truth. She had trusted him with her life, but somewhere along the way, she had also given him her heart. And Daniel, for the first time in years, allowed himself to feel the warmth of belonging. He had found in her not just gratitude, not just companionship, but a home. Something he had thought lost to him forever. Their days after that were not without challenges. Life on the farm was hard, and healing from past wounds took time. But every challenge they faced together deepened their bond. Daniel no longer wandered, he built roots in the soil of her world. Eliza no longer carried her burdens alone, she shared them with the man who had proven himself worthy of her trust. They learned that love was not always about grand gestures but about standing together, about believing in each other even when the storms raged. In the end, their story was not just about survival. It was about trust, redemption, and love found in the unlikeliest of places. Eliza gave him her trust, and in return, Daniel gave her his heart. Together, they turned a broken past into a hopeful future, proving that even the most wounded souls can find healing when they are brave enough to trust again. And that trust, when nurtured with love, can become the foundation of a home that endures through every trial. This is their story. A reminder that sometimes, when you trust someone with your life, you may just find that you have given them a place in your heart as well.